Hello, friends. Hello, hello. My name is Janessa Oriole, and I am here live a few minutes late due to some technical difficulties. So, for those who joined previously, thank you for joining. For those who are joining currently, thank you for joining, whether you're watching live with me or if you're here for what we like to call our replay, which is the after party. Originally, I was saying when my audio wasn't working, and thank you for those that let me know. Um, what I was saying is typically, hi Tanya, this time of year, the Sell with Amy team is out and about meeting those that use Sell with Amy. We're at conferences, we're connecting, we're excited to be able to be there and engage with you. And I wanted to be able to chat through that because I know that there's some conferences that have already happened, some that are going on like right now, some that are happening in next week or in the next couple weeks. And so, with everyone out and about doing the conference thing, whether it be in person or virtual or some combination of that, right? We've seen a number of teams get together. We've seen a number of teams get together and have a viewing party for conferences to be able to enjoy that vibe, right? But I wanted to be able to chat with you about how can you get that enthusiasm? How can you have those conversations? First, I want to go through the things that we typically hear at the conference booth when we've been at conferences. The most common, which if I have a conversation with any of you ever, is always, please don't look at my to-dos. I promise I'm going to get them done, right? That's the thing that we hear. Tanya says, ours starts today. Hi, Carol and Selena and Sheila. Yes, 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 yes. So we typically hear, don't look at my to-dos. And they're sort of like, embarrassed, right? We don't want you to be embarrassed in terms of the number of to-dos. And the reason for that is because I want you to see to-dos as your daily, I was going to say laundry, but not daily laundry. Goodness, I hope not daily laundry. Daily dishes, right? Dishes always need to be done, whether you're using standard dishes or whether you're using paper plates or something to that effect. Whatever you use, they need to be tended to each day. And so the to-dos are very similar. I don't want you to be ashamed. I should actually be an Amy for this. Um, I don't want you to be ashamed by the number of to-dos that you have in your phone. And the reason for that is because I want you to see that as opportunities to have great conversations with your customers one-on-one, right? And I want you to see that and also know each time you're reaching out to your customers, even if they don't respond. We know a lot of customers don't respond, but it doesn't mean they're not seeing it and they're not paying attention, right? It's one of the reasons why when we chat about updating your message templates, we want to make sure that when you're updating your message templates, you're not swapping everything to a sales related follow-up or giving them all the information right at the front. Like, have you seen everything that's on sale? Have you seen our recent promotions? Have you seen this? Instead, you want, and then giving links to those particular products or things. You can still do that, but the goal is to be able to have a conversation. Hey, are you at all interested in, and then describe the promotion, the item that might be on promotion, and then they can say yes or no, right? But someone said, so funny, we're on breakout and you're doing to-dos now. Yes, see, break for, this is a tip from Ida. She's saying she's on a break from her conference. She's tackling those to-dos because again, she knows they're not going to go away. Ida's been extremely successful with the app, with her company, to the point where she quit her daytime job because she has been working her to-dos consistently. I really want to share that the goal really genuinely is to do a little bit a day. Because if you try and save it up to, let's say, the 20th of the month, right? Around the 20th of the month, you realize there's not that much time left in the month. You want to tackle all the to-dos. You're actually missing out on the opportunity to reach out to your customers to say thank you. And then also say that there's, to say thank you. And then also that two weeks after the order post, right? If you're doing your to-dos once a month, you don't have the opportunity to connect with your customers more than once a month. And ideally it's not going to be as timely as if you're doing your to-dos daily. And I think that's the thing that we try to encourage here. So a lot of people say, I'm just diving into Amy and I'm not sure what to do. And I'm feeling overwhelmed. And that's one of the reasons why we slowly roll out trainings. If you notice, in the to-dos, when you first download the Amy app for your phone, you're actually getting doled out not only to connect with your customers, presuming that you either have a partnership and those orders are recorded for you, lucky duck, or presuming that you've started recording those orders. But we also include trainings in those to-dos. And we do that spaced out so that way you can dive into little pieces of the app at a time. Because there's so much to do in the app, whether you're a leader and have team follow-ups, whether you are a hobbyist and just want to make sure to fund your own product usage, whether you're somebody who is working towards leadership or really looking to promote within your company, there's a lot within the app that serves all of those needs. But if you try and learn it all initially on day 1, 2, and 3, it's going to be overwhelming and you'll put it down and not necessarily pick it up again. Raise your hand in the comments. We used to be able to do like hearts and thumbs up, and I used to be able to see that. Can't see that anymore. Raise your hands in the comments if that's true for you. If you jump in and you're like, I'm going to do Amy and I'm just going to, get it all done. And then you put it down for like weeks at a time or months at a time. Let's be honest, right? I'd love to see that. Let's see. Sheila's conference starts on 7/29. Just finished your 62 to-dos. Yes. Good job doing your dishes, right? Hi, Danielle and Sheila. Tanya just finished most of hers. Thank yous are on your to-do. Yes. Hi, Pan. It's been a while since we've seen you here. So I want to be able to encourage you. The reason I initially had the, let's go ahead and just go to the storefront. The reason I initially had the storefront up is because I'm going to encourage you to create that conference vibe. I'm going to encourage you to share your storefront, not of course with your customers and prospective hosts and prospective teammates, right? But I'm going to encourage you to share your storefronts with those that you're engaging and interacting with at conference, meaning those that you are on this, whether you're on the same team, whether you're on other teams, it doesn't really matter. If you're engaging with somebody from your own company, I encourage you to share your storefront with them primarily, and let me make sure I'm pointing in the right spot, primarily so we can have them fill out the contact me button. If they fill out, and I know they're selling the same things as you, I totally get it. But if they fill out the contact me button, I really want you each to hold one another accountable. And it could be, you can share it with one person, multiple people, whatever. But when someone fills that out, let's go back to Amy. You have the ability to filter. Actually, let's go ahead and I'm going to pick Billy. Okay, let's say that Billy filled this out. Now, in this case, Billy has a lot of contact situations. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to remove customer, and I'm going to do, it could be either I don't want to do previous team member. I'm going to do this. I'm going to add a label called cohort. This is not a very fancy word. I would come up with something like bestie, buddy, business bestie, something to that effect. But what I'm going to do then is I'm going to remove some of these others because they're no longer relevant, right? There we go. And I'm going to save this. Oh, I need to get rid of recruit prospect. So let me do that. Save. Okay. So, and VIP group. You can see where I'm going here. Ideally, you won't have a customer that's your cohort, right? But you want to find somebody that you can connect with. And so you can go ahead and stay in touch with them and encourage them to be really consistent with Amy. And ideally, they're doing the same for you. Because oftentimes you go to conference, you learn literally everything, and you are typically, you learn everything. There's like zero sleeping. Because everyone just wants to connect the entire 2 to 3 days, right? And so there's zero sleeping, you're connecting with so many people, and then you've taken bazillion notes and you go home and you're fatigued and you put those notes away, you never really open them again. My goal for you this year, whether it's in person or virtual, is to make sure that you're connecting with someone on a consistent basis to be able to keep them on their game and also keep you on your game, because we really want to make sure that you are using what you learned at conference, but also staying really consistent throughout the month. Again, little bites daily as opposed to like a full massive feast once or twice a month, right? That's the goal. And then the other thing about sharing your storefront with these cohorts is you can see their collections and they can see your collections, and then you can talk about it and what's working for them and what's not working for them. Let me go ahead and see what we've got going on in the comments. I go back and forth, I do it all and then put it away for a couple days. Totally normal, Tanya. Totally normal. Hi, Verna. Let's see. I set an alarm for 7 p.m. nightly to remind me to get those to-dos done. Sheila, I love that. And today, as you mentioned, you've already gotten those to-dos done. So when that reminder goes off, you could reach out to a cohort, for example, and see how they're doing. Check in on them. Angie said, I'd love to see other people's ideas on templates rather than defaults. I feel like I'm always saying the same thing. Great, exactly. So that's what cohorts are great for. You can say, hey, this is the message I'm sending out. How is that working for you? Okay. And the main goal, I almost think of it as a recipe, like a recipe for a message template. I really want you to ask a question and for engagement back, right, from your customers, as opposed to a marketing message says, this is on sale, look at this, have you seen this, so forth and so on. Anything from Within Cell with Amy is not intended to be a marketing message, but is intended to be a sharing conversation or a conversation as a whole. So for example, you could update your message templates tonight to say, are you excited about the Olympics? Now, let's be honest, is that related to your business? Probably not at all, right? But it's a current event that the world literally watches. I know that I don't get any sleep during Olympic season, but anyway, so you can have those relational conversations, and so the message templates can change based on what's going on in the world, based on what kind of conversations you want to be able to have. But also the goal is to get to know your people, and if they're like, no, I don't watch them at all, you can go ahead and make sure not to discuss that, right? Sheila said, just created a storefront for items that are retiring. That's brilliant because we all know that catalogs are winding down. Conferences happen, catalogs wind down, new catalogs appear suddenly within, whether it be August 1st or sometimes it's September 1st, depends on the company. Let's see. I love it as we share business cards. When we are there. Yes. So this is different than sharing a business card. You have your digital business card. Let's go back to our storefront. You have your digital business card here, and this way, pardon, and this way you don't have squirrel. This way you don't have to carry them around and they don't get stuck in that notebook that you never look at, right? You're genuinely having them fill out your contact form, ideally vice versa, so you can have conversations back and forth. Asking a question opens dialogue, absolutely. So Sheila says, so are you talking about sharing storefront through text while at a conference and asking them to complete the form? Yep. Absolutely, because the goal is to be able to work together to make sure that you're both attaining the goals that you've set out. Because if you have somebody else, now of course you have your upline, duh, but the goal is to be able to not necessarily to find somebody that understands where you're at. So ideally, you'll find somebody that's either at the same rank as you, maybe a rank above, or potentially a rank below, and maybe both, right? If you have someone a rank above and a rank below, and then you can cheer each other on as you both work towards promoting. That's the goal. I think so. That'd be so much easier. Love that idea. Perfect. So talk to one another, find a business bestie at these conferences, look for opportunities to keep each other accountable, whether you're doing daily, weekly, ideally not monthly check-ins, right? You want to be able to have conversations and cheer one another on. Your success is their success. Of course, the same goes for your downline as well, and your upline. We're all here to cheer one another on. That's what I love about this business and this industry. Tanya says, I have several consultants that we keep track of each other. Absolutely, because again, their success is your success. If there's a big milestone, you want to shout from the rooftops that your friend hit those milestones. And that's the best part, in my opinion, of direct sales, especially for those who have gone sort of beyond the hobbyist, right? It becomes all about setting goals and attaining those goals, and there's honestly nothing better. How do you attain those goals? Daily check-ins, daily doing your to-dos, right? Consistency with working your business, one bite at a time. So thanks so much for joining me today. My apologies for the technical difficulties earlier, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks, friends.